Hi everybody, I'm Christine, and today we're going to be baking cookies, but not just any cookies. The world famous Nestle Toll House cookies. I know what you're thinking. Is that truly baking? And the answer, yes, because we are actually baking something, but it is taking what I would call a very big shortcut, right? We're just not doing any of the, we're doing a minimum amount of the prep. If you've ever made cookies like this before, where you kind of like take and bake kind of thing, there's different versions that they kind of come in. And I would say that this is probably the most lazy version, but look, no shame here. Sometimes you don't have time and you just want a tasty chocolate chip cookie and you just want to pop it in the oven and not think about it. And that's totally fine. And also, you got to start somewhere, right? If you don't know how to bake, it might be very intimidating to think about following a recipe and doing all this stuff and mixing everything right, blah, blah, blah. So start with something super simple and take it from there. These are the ones we're making. Delicious. You may notice it's already open and like half of them are gone because I've eaten them. That is one of the things I really like about this is you open it, bake some now, keep it in the fridge, bake some later. You might be able to freeze them too. I'm not really sure. Let me see. Does it say anything about that? There you go. Dough may be frozen for up to 2 months. If frozen before use by date on the package. Whenever you're baking anything, what I would do first is read the instructions. So step 1, read the instructions. Step 2, read the instructions again. Step 3, read them again. So you want to know in advance kind of what the steps are going to be. There are, as you can imagine, so many steps to baking these. Preheat the oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Then you break along the pre-scored lines. You'll see those in a second, but you can feel them in here. There's pre-scored lines. That's why I said these are kind of the most lazy version of these. Like if you've ever seen, you know, they have like a cylindrical tube and you just kind of scoop it out, or you have a big tub, you can get it at Costco or something like that, and you just scoop them out yourself. And so those you're still shaping and you have to take the time to do that. But these you just break them, put them on the tray, and you're good to go. So preheat oven to 350 degrees. Break along pre-scored lines, place 6 cookies 3 inches apart on ungreased baking sheets. Bake 12 to 13 minutes or until golden brown. Now it also says high altitude bake at 350 degrees Fahrenheit, 13 to 15 minutes, because it is a little different based on your altitude and all of that. So that's it. That's all we have to do. It also has air fryer instructions. Now this is interesting. So for the air fryer instructions, it's more work, right? You have to line the air fryer tray with parchment paper. Then you have to round the cookie dough squares into balls and flatten them to 1.5 inch tall. That's obviously more work if you're gonna do that. We're not doing that, so don't worry about that. We're just gonna be following the regular baking instructions for the oven. The barcode is like a little oven mitt, so that's super cute. We have to preheat the oven. We're also gonna need a ungreased baking sheet. So I'm gonna get the baking sheet and then we're gonna preheat the oven. Now I'm not skipping to the second step. I'm just getting everything out and ready so we can go from there. Depending on how thick it is and the material and all that, that can affect your baking time as well. And depending on what rack you put it on, and if your oven has the heat from the top or the bottom, or if it's a convection oven, blah, 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 blah. There's a lot of different things. So that's why my guess is that they're giving you a range, right? Because your oven might bake faster, etc. If you remember, step 1 was preheat the oven. Now let's just double check again to see what the temperature was. 350 degrees Fahrenheit. So let's go over to the oven. Come on a little journey with me to the oven, which is here. We're not doing convection. So I want to hit bake and then the temperature and then start, and then it's gonna preheat that way. I'm actually not positive about that because this is not my house. I just broke in here and I'm shooting this video. I'm kidding. I'm at my in-laws' house and I'm house sitting for them. Please don't call the police on me. Thank you. Bake. It already is set to 350, so we're good. And then we just hit start and there you go. And right now it's telling us what temperature it is right now, which is 100 degrees, and it's gonna slowly go up, and when it's ready, it will beep for us. Now that the oven is preheating, we can set up our tray. Take these out. This is what it looks like. Now that's obviously half of it. As I said, I ate the other half. Break them on the perforation and then we separate them. Now they're supposed to be laid out like 3 inches apart. I don't know. I'm just gonna spread them out so they're like evenly spread apart, because they will expand and you don't want them to expand into each other. These aren't gonna expand a ton, so this should be good. So yeah, here we go. And again, this is an ungreased baking sheet. Now all we have to do is just wait for the oven to preheat, and then we can put these in and get them baking. And yeah, so we'll just sit here, you know, wait. So how are you doing today? Still waiting, just checking in to see how everybody's doing during this time. I'm checking a watch that I'm not wearing. Okay, you guys totally missed it, but it was 4:49 and the clock is right next to the temperature gauge, and it went to 450 at the exact moment that it went to 350. Sorry, not 352. what was it? Here I am lying all over the place. Okay, it was 404 and it went to 405 and it changed to 405 just as the moment that it became 305 degrees Fahrenheit. And I just thought that was pretty cool and I wanted to share it with you. So, numbers. 343, it should beep at us in a couple of seconds, I would think, a few seconds. So let's just wait for it. That's it. What we have to do now is put this in. Oh my gosh, I threw away the instructions. Now that is a classic me faux pas. Let me go get it out of the trash. I mean, clearly I meant to do that because I wanted to, like, you know, essentially show you what not to do. So I'm gonna move this way so no trash gets on my cookies. Bake 12 to 13 minutes or until golden brown. So, okay, I'm gonna wash my hands again because gross. It says 350. So open the oven, pop this in. So we're gonna hit this. And it said 13 to 15, so we're gonna go 13, hit it again, and now it's gonna start. As it said, 13 to 15 minutes, so we have some time. We could just chat, we could maybe do our nails. So I'm gonna do that right now, because why not, right?
It's 12 to 13 minutes.
See, this is why you have to read the instructions multiple times. Let's go back over here. Now, it's at 12 to 13 minutes, and it's already almost at 12, and we put it to 13, so once it hits 12, we're gonna stop it and set it for 11, so. Okay, just pretend that never happened. So as I said, we're gonna wait, so I'm gonna do my nails. Let's see how quick dry this is. Oh my gosh, I'm making a mess already. Jeez Louise. You can see, like, on the top of the one in the back left that it still definitely has that square shape. There we go. And now let's take a little peek. Yeah, those do not look golden to me. They look really pale. I'm actually gonna do another 2 minutes, which may be a mistake, but that's what I'm gonna do. Last time I ended up having to do a minute or two extra from what it said, and it said to do 12 to 13. And so that was 12. We're gonna be doing 14. Hopefully that'll be enough. I am gonna take out something to put the pan on when we do take it out, so that way we don't burn the counters. Prepped and ready, and I have these to help not burn my hands off when I take the pan out of the oven. And in case you're wondering, my nails are actually dry. So Essie Hard to Resist Nail Strengthener. Hashtag not a sponsor. This is always the most difficult part, is like waiting. Because like you can smell the cookies and they smell good and you think about eating the cookies, but they're not ready yet. So let's take a little walk over here and see. The bottom is starting to get a little bit golden. I want to push it a little bit more, so we're gonna do a minute. Well, I initially put the wrong time in there, so I did 13, then we corrected that mistake. So it was 12 minutes, then we added 2, so that's 14, and now we're doing an extra one, which is 15, which is funny because initially when I misremembered the instructions, I thought it was 13 to 15 minutes, and that's what we're gonna end up doing. So that's probably why. I just knew, you know, from last time I learned and grew and all that stuff. That's probably what happened. I'm gonna stick with that. I don't really wanna push it more than this. Maybe I would possibly do another minute. Like I said, I baked them before, but it's not like I bake them all the time, so I don't know, am I gonna overdo it? Am I gonna burn it? I'm not used to this oven, I'm not used to this pan. So the fact that it is thicker on the bottom, I think is good. So it should hopefully protect the bottom from burning, because a lot of times that'll happen, right? Like, there we go, let's check. But yeah, a lot of times that'll happen where, oh, be quiet. The bottom burns because the top isn't cooking as fast as the bottom. All right, let's see. Look at that, those are golden brown. They look really delicious. I'm excited to have them with some milk. You know what, it was interesting? The instructions do not say anything about how you want these to cool. A lot of times, like, you take the cookies off and put them on a cooling rack, but like you should wait a little bit because they're not super firmed up yet because they're still really hot. I do feel like they are deflating slightly. It is relatively cold in here. I'm in New Hampshire right now and it's the winter, so it is 35 degrees. So actually that's not that bad. It was way colder before. But inside the house is about 68 degrees. So I think they're deflating a little bit because they came out and they went into an environment that's much colder than they were just in. I think they look pretty good. You can still see like the square on the top. So yeah, it's super simple, super easy. In my next video, we're gonna kick it up a notch and we're gonna be baking some chocolate chip cookies from scratch. And we're going to be using browned butter. So we'll learn about Maillard reactions. And the thing I really love about them is that you can freeze the dough after you mix it and put it in the freezer. And then you essentially have like what we had today. You will have to shape the cookies, but actually you could shape the cookies and then freeze the dough and then have them ready to go, plop them on the tray like we did today and pop them in the oven. So that way, when you just don't have enough time, but you don't want to get the store-bought thing, you want something that's homemade, it still is homemade. It was just pre-made before and frozen in the freezer. And so that's what we're going to be doing in the next video. So be sure to like and subscribe and turn those notifications on, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.